तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and we are reading the narration of a portion where date has not been given. It is within the chapter 2 of the English book. The chapter is called In the Company of Devotees and it starts with an incident in Balram Babu's house on March 11. And after that, a few days later, M visited the master at Dakshineshwar. And after that, another day, the master was seated on the small coach in his room with his usual beaming countenance. M arrived with Kali Krishna, who did not know where his friend was taking him. He had only been told, if you want to see a grog shop, then come with me. You will see a huge jar of wine there. M related this to Sri Ramakrishna. So if this is M's seventh meeting with the master, he seems to have become quite free at home at this time. M related this to Sri Ramakrishna, who laughed about it. The master said, the bliss of worship and communion with God is the true wine, the wine of ecstatic love. The goal of human life is to love God. Bhakti is the one essential thing. To know God through jnana and reasoning is extremely difficult. So, not impossible, but extremely difficult. This sounds similar to Gita 12th chapter. There Arjuna asks about Saguna worship and Nirguna worship, which is superior. And that Nirguna worship is this knowing God through jnana. And there Bhagavan tells him that that is suitable only for those who have no body consciousness. And because of that, it is much more difficult than Saguna Bhakti. So, and it describes what is that formless or Nirguna Brahman, how are the worshippers, and what is their worship. Yetu aksharamanirdesyam avyaktam paripasate sarvatra gam achintyam cha kutastham achalam dhruvam sanniyamma indriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhaya te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhuta iterata klesho adhikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadbir avapyate. So, That is the 3 shlokas in the beginning of the 12th chapter of the Gita. So that is what Sri Ramakrishna is telling. That knowledge and reasoning. What is knowledge? To know God through knowledge. So it is not knowledge of anything in the world. It is not knowledge of A knowing B. It is the knowledge of A knowing A. So we refer to Mundak Upanishad. And there, Shaunak, the great householder, has gone to Angiras in a forest and asked him, Kasmin no bhagavato bhagavo vigyate sarvamidam vigyatam bhavati. What is that knowing which everything becomes known? That means Brahman, which is the common reality of the subject and the objects. And there Angiras tells him that knowledge itself is of 2 kinds. A knowing B leads to karma. All the Vedas and Vedangas are knowledge of this type, which he calls lower knowledge. And the higher knowledge is that by which the nature of Brahman becomes known. He does not describe any book for that. And here, the second word is reasoning. Our reasoning, human reasoning, however high it may go, cannot reach God because God is non-dual. While our reasoning cannot proceed without duality. And so, reasoning falls short. My teacher used to say about reasoning, about a reason or understanding. The highest understanding is that which understands the limitations of understanding. That is understanding. So now, the other way left to us is devotion. And the devotion will change our mind. To know God is only, we have seen in the 4th question of Master Mache, under what condition God is realized. So devotion changes our mind and brings it to that condition in which God is realized. This the so-called Pandits are devoted to knowledge. People do not understand. It is beyond their understanding even how love leads to knowledge of God. But that is a proven fact. Even the great Shankaracharya tells us, Moksha sadhana samagram bhaktireva gariyasi, but his followers do not accept that at all. Now to emphasize this point on the mind of not only Master Masha but Kali Krishna, who was a professor of Sanskrit in a reputed college, Sri Ramakrishna starts singing. Then the master sang. Who is there that can understand what Mother Kali is? Even the 6 darshanas are powerless to reveal her. So what are the 6 darshanas? Vedic authority of the rishis and our reasoning. And this reasoning of the darshanas makes us follow ultimately the dictates of reason. So what are the six darshanas mentioned here? In the Indian system of philosophical thinking, there are gradations of philosophy or darshanas. In the lowest group, we have the Nyaya and Vaisheshik philosophies. They believe in the world as we look at it and try to philosophize it with the help of some semblance of quotings from the Vedas. On the next platform is Yoga philosophy and Sankhya philosophy. They are intertwined in a way because they go subtler and subtler and subtler. Yoga helps to go subtler and subtler in perception, but they stop short in buddhi. And that is why they do not reach the goal at all. Cannot reach the goal at all. And on the last high pedestal is the Mimamsa Shastra and Vedanta. Now the Mimamsa Shastra deals with the karma of the Vedas and it can never reach the knowledge of God. And Vedanta. Now here it is stated that six darshanas are powerless to reveal thee. So we have to understand this point. Vedanta has two meanings separate in the minds of the people. Vedanta means the end of Vedas, means Upanishads, and Upanishads as guide with the help of a guru. Then only we can realize the truth, not without that. Because they have been included in the Mundaka Upanishad in the Aparavidya. But this is not the meaning taken by people in general. When Vedanta is clubbed as one of the six darshanas, they take Vedanta to be a system of philosophy. And one great philosopher, Dr. Mahendranāth Sarkar, a product of Calcutta University, has said that we can get the best system of thought, but the truth will escape us. So that is how people take Vedanta to be a school of thought. It remains as a school of thought. And so it is not unjustified. It is not a sentimental song. Thakur is singing it. So it is not a sentimental something of the devotees to say that six darshanas cannot reveal you. The system of thought is a system of thought. And here our consciousness has to grow, expand, go deeper and deeper, reach the ultimate reality, which is more easily done by devotion. So please understand this. Protagonists of so-called knowledge, that the great Shankaracharya has said, unless there is going to the Guru and being taught by him, it is not possible for the Vedanta to reveal God. So these are the various factors. And Thakur emphasizes this through that song. So we proceed now. The master said again, the one goal of life is to cultivate love for God. Now the new word here is cultivate. Love of God can be cultivated, has to be cultivated, has to be made purer and purer, and then only it will take the mind to God. And this cultivation comes how we see. Thakur has told Master Mahashaya in the reply to the fourth question. Yearning has to develop, love of God has to develop, and three types of attraction have to be diverted to God, and absolute surrender should take place. So that is how love is cultivated. Then it grows. And now he gives example, the most ideal example of what type of love has to be cultivated. Or rather, after cultivation, what type of love has to be reached, which will reveal God to us. So, the only example available, of course, there are many examples. I tell something wrongly. I am referring to Narada Sutra. He has given what is real love and says, Asti evam evam. There are examples, plural. But the best example he quotes is that Yatha Vraja Gopika Nam. Here, Thakur has taken, broadened this Vraja Gopika Nam. A very important statement. Thakur says, the love that the milkmaids, gopis, the milkmen, gopalas, and the cowherd boys, Sri Krishna's age boys, and even younger than him, of Vrindavan felt for Krishna. This is very, very important statement from another angle. It tells us that everybody practically in Vrindavan loved Sri Krishna. Now, because of this man-woman form, somehow that gopis have become more prominent in our mind. But there is a song being sung by Thakur, and Thakur has stated here that all these three types of people loved Sri Krishna, and that love has to come to us. And he has not at all distinguished of one superior over the other, not at all. So, milkmaids, he has given the first preference while talking, he has given to milkmaids. That much is the difference if you want to feel. Some beautiful words were missed as I open. Oh no. That's why I looked into finger. Jaman Vrindavane Gop Gopira Rakhalra. So it is not that the ladies have been given first preference. No. So all people loved Shri Krishna, and somehow this gender difference has brought to our mind so many questions. Why not ask how the Gopas loved Sri Krishna, and how the children loved Sri Krishna. So, after telling this, when Sri Krishna went away to Mathura, so taste of real love comes in absence. That is another thing. Taste of real love comes in absence. When Krishna went away to Mathura, the cowherds, that is the third category, Gopira, Rakhalra. So the cowherds roamed about weeping bitterly because of their separation from him. And that is the example Thakur is giving through a song. And see the love. Saying this, the master sang with his eyes turned upwards because he is lost in that love. Just now I saw a youthful cowherd. Youthful means young boy, very young boy. Youthful. Bengali says Naveen Rakhal. I would translate it as a tender cowherd. Just now I saw a tender cowherd with a young calf in his arms. There he stood by one hand holding the branch of a young tree. Where are you, brother Kanai? Now Krishna becomes simplified as Kanai. Where are you, brother Kanai? He cried. But Kanai scarcely could he utter. Even that simplified version he could not utter because of love and the feeling of separation. Ka was as much as he could say. He cried, "Where are you, brother?" And his eyes were filled with tears. That Rakhal's eyes were filled with tears. When M heard this song of the master laden with love, so master is singing exactly as that Rakhal has felt. His eyes were moist with tears. His Miss Master says. So that love has radiated, it has touched Master Master. So that is the event of this day. And the importance of this event is three things I have seen. Knowledge, it is difficult. Love can make you reach there. It has to be cultivated. And the ideal of love is all the people of Vrindavan and especially the young boys, tender boys. And because of the separation, he is not able to utter the name fully and he says Ka. So now we start where we meet with dates. And this was all during March of 1882. We now move to 2nd April 1882. Scene has changed. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting in the drawing room of Keshav Chandra Sen's house in Calcutta. We have thought about Keshav Chandra Sen, that through him, Sri Ramakrishna's message was spread among the intellectual class of Calcutta, but who were interested in religion. So Sri Ramakrishna has gone to his house. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon. When Keshav was told of his arrival, he came to the drawing room dressed to go out, for he was about to call on a sick friend. Now he cancelled his plan. So this was not an arranged meeting. The master said to him, "You have so many things to attend to. Besides, you have to read a newspaper. You have no time to come to Dakshineshwar, so I have come to see you." So meeting is important. Where is not important? If A does not go to B, B goes to A. That is love. When I heard of your illness, I vowed green coconut and sugar to the Divine Mother for your recovery. I said to her, "Mother, if something happens to Keshav, with whom shall I talk in Calcutta? Something happens if he dies." So in Calcutta, the main center at that time was Keshav. Later on, Balram Baba. Sri Ramakrishna spoke to Pratap and the other Brahmo devotees. Now, this is not that Pratap whose brother came to Sri Ramakrishna and he scolded him. There are more than one Prataps in the gospel. One is Pratap Hazara, who is to stay with Sri Ramakrishna. And this is Dr. Pratap Mazumdar. He was one of the Brahmo leaders. Sri Ramakrishna spoke to Pratap and the other Brahmo devotees. M was seated nearby. Pointing to him, the master said to Keshav, "Will you please ask him?" Wonderful, huh? Master himself is not asking Master Master. Will you please ask him why he doesn't come to Dakshineshwar anymore? So there has been a big gap between that March meetings and 2nd April. He repeatedly tells me he is not attached to his wife and children. So why does he not come? M had been paying visits to the master for about a month. His absence for a time from Dakshineshwar called for this remark. Sri Ramakrishna had asked M to write to him if his coming were delayed. These days, WhatsApp message. So a communication is necessary. Pandit Samadhyayi was present. The Brahmo devotees introduced him to Sri Ramakrishna as a scholar, well versed in the Vedas and the other scriptures. The master said, "Yes, I can see inside him through his eyes." The knower resides in the eyes prominently. So Thakur can see him through the eyes, as one can see the objects in a room through the glass door. So clearly, the hidden things, subtler things, thoughts and ideas can be seen by Thakur or a man of evolution. Directly, not imagination any. So that stopped the conversation. Thakur has hinted, I have seen him, that he is an ordinary man. Trailokya sang. Now this is a new person. His name was Trailokyanath Sanya. And he had adopted a poet's name, Chiranjeev Sharma. And he was a Brahmo devotee. And he had become attracted to, he was a great composer and singer also. He had become attracted to Sri Ramakrishna. And seeing Sri Ramakrishna's visions or samadhis from outside, he had composed many of these songs. So that is Trilokya. Trilokya sang. Suddenly the master stood up and went into Samadhi, repeating the mother's name. So this is something unique in this world. We are not thought of. Imagine a person from the beginning of creation, that a person repeatedly goes into Samadhi and just ignited by anything. And here Trilokya is singing. So that is enough. Repeating the mother's name, coming down a little to the plane of sense consciousness, he danced and sang. So Samadhi is beyond any movement, bliss and bliss only. Experience of God leading to bliss. A little outside, a dynamic state comes. And that dynamic state of bliss makes him sing and dance. So this is called Ardhavahya Dasha, a semi-divine consciousness. No singing, huh? The one thing we opened in Bengali, I'm not going to do now. We had only 2 lines, na? Sikh Darshanas will not reveal you. In Bengali, full song is there. Anyway. Now here he sings, I drink no ordinary wine, but wine of everlasting bliss. Wine because intoxication, wine because the mind does not work in the normal way, but wine makes it subnormal, while divine love makes it above normal. As I repeat my mother Kali's name, it so intoxicates my mind that people take me to be drunk. Oh. No. One incident is missed. Huh? Okay, let that go. It will come sometime. Arrangement has different. They have found it some other place for that. It is Kamal Kutir Sri Ramakrishna. Huh? And this in Bengali, a lot of details are given about Keshav and Master's meeting. And then this comes. Huh? Okay, that is known. Huh? This is a song by Ram Prasad. First, my guru gives molasses for the making of the wine. Molasses, jaggery. So it is an intoxicant made from fundamentally sugarcane. Generally with sugar factories, breweries are there. My longing is the ferment to transform it. Yes, when jaggery ferments, then the wine comes. Knowledge, the maker of the wine, prepares it for me then. So knowledge is taken as a part of that intoxication. That is the maker of the wine. Figurative songs, and when it is done, my mind imbibes it from the bottle of the mantra. Mantra is the name of God coupled with some mystic syllable. And that is the way mind goes into God. Taking the mother's name to make it pure, drink of this wine, says Ram Prasad, and the 4 fruits of life are yours. Dharma, Artha, Kam and Moksha are supposed to be the 4 goals of life. Because man's mind evolves, man's consciousness evolves. First, he has to imbibe virtue. He has to be firmly grounded in virtue. And desires are there. So one cannot suddenly go beyond desire. So he marries. But being firmly grounded in virtue, he leads his married life. So there a twin goal comes. Artha, wealth and bhoga, kama. Now if one sticks to religion, one sticks to virtuous, righteous conduct and undergoes this artha and kam, evolution takes place. And when the evolution has taken place, man can renounce this artha and kam and go to moksha. That is the system of Indian society. So all these four will come if you take this wine. The master looked at Keshav suddenly, as if Keshav were his very own. So the very look, Master has understood that the very look, and he has noted all these things. Really, it's a great blessing to humanity, this gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. After he goes back to his house, he remembers and notes down everything, and then he meditates and expands. So, the master looked at Keshav tenderly, as if Keshav were his very own. He seemed to fear that Keshav might belong to someone else, that is, to the, say, that he might become a worldly person. All that is expressed through that sight. Looking at him, the master sang again. This is Master Masha understands through the song also. We are afraid to speak and yet we are afraid to keep still. Our minds, O Radha, half believe that we are about to lose you. We tell you the secret that we know, the secret whereby we ourselves and others, with our help, have passed through many a time of peril. Now it all depends on you. There is a lot of pun on words in the Bengali that cannot come into English. This is what the Radha's friends are telling her. And this he has expressed to say, Keshav should not go to the worldly way.
This song is Radha's friends tell to Radha, sing for Radha.
This is Radha's friends telling Radha.
Originally, it comes where? Originally, this song is.
Originally, Katha bolte darai, na boleo darai, moner sandeh hoy, pache toma dhane harai harai.
But here it is not written for.
In Bengali, it is printed harai harai. No. Harai harai. Rai is Radha.
Oh. Harai.
Harai means we lose you. Harai. Alas, Radha. That is the Bengali. Amara jani je man tor. That means it depends upon your thinking. Dilam tore e mantor. Mantra in Abhavransha Bengali is mantor. And it is pun with the mantor. Hakun mantor, je mantre vipadete tori tarai. So mantra we know, you can also take, but you should not go away from us, go away from Lord's path. This famously Thakur sang
Narendra.
when Narendra had taken a vote to go to Sannyas. Anyway, so quoting the last part of the song, he said to Keshav, that is to say, renounce everything and call on God. That mantra and all that Thakur explains as this: renounce everything and call on God. He alone is real, all else is illusory. So, some so-called devotees of Thakur, I told in the beginning, they think Thakur does not talk of real and illusory. He only talks of temporary and permanent. But here it clearly states. Because Shankaracharya or Thakur or anybody in the world cannot make the world real. It is unreal. So they have to state it for our benefit. All else is illusory. Without the realization of God, everything is futile. So here first time we are getting that. Love of God is all right. But without realization of God, everything is futile. This is the great secret which the Radha's friends are trying to communicate to Radha. So Thakur's interpretation of this song is like this. The master sat down again and began to converse with the devotees. So that Keshav thing particularized is over. Because Keshav was sick, so all this stopped. For a while he listened to a piano recital, enjoying it like a child. Piano to Indian readers. Now this harmonium has become very popular in India. But there was a time in the classicalist, pure classicalist, on All India Radio for many years, so long as B.V. Keskar was the minister, he did not allow harmonium as a company for classical. Now this harmonium extended the paddles, it is played by the paddles, both hands are used, and there are so many scales together. So that is a piano. Enjoying it like a child, because any music used to send the master into thought of God. Then he was taken to the inner apartments where he was served with refreshments and the ladies saluted him. Now this for non-Indian readers is a puzzling thing. And to the modern Indians also maybe. In every house, there is to be an outer and inner apartment. And the inner apartment was reserved for ladies. Gents could go there now and then, but the ladies never came to the outer apartment. So, ladies in Keshav's house want to feed Thakur and have his darshan. For that, Thakur goes there. As the master was leaving Keshav's house, the Brahmo devotees accompanied him respectfully to his carriage. We are following English, so he will not read a lot of Bengali introductory things about this Keshav's visits. We go to the next date, April 9, 1882. 1 week after that, was it a Sunday? We have to find out. Oh, yes, Sunday is written. In April 2, it was not written. Here it is written Sunday, April 9.
Oh. There is a meeting at 5th August also.
5th
5th August. April 9. Oh,
No, that is that introductory portion
oh.
about Keshav. Sri Ramakrishna was seated with his devotees in the drawing room of Krishna Mukherjee's house in Calcutta.
Oh, now this.
That is that. So in Bengali they thought it there, but in English they have found out the date. He was a great devotee and he was fat. So Thakur used to call him Fat Brahmin. Krishna Mukherjee's house in Calcutta. It was between 1 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Since Colonel Vishwanath lived in that neighborhood, the master intended to visit him before going to see Keshav at the Lily Cottage. So he had planned 3 visits. Krishna, Captain Vishwanath and Keshav. This Captain Vishwanath was ambassador or regent of Nepal government in Calcutta. And Thakur used to call him Captain. And he was a great scholar and a great devotee. He could understand Sri Ramakrishna's samadhis, etc. And Lily Cottage is what we have seen. Kamal Kutir is Lily Cottage. A number of neighbors and other friends of Krishna had been invited to meet Sri Ramakrishna. They were all eager to hear his words. Master, God and His glory. The universe is His glory. People see His glory and forget everything. So how we are deluded. The whole universe is God's creation. It belongs to God. It is like an extension of God. It is the outside expression of God. And men are deluded into that. And they do not think of God at all. This is more directed by Sri Ramakrishna toward the Brahmas. He said, why you always talk of Aishwarya? Why not think of him? So this is the Trigunatmak world which the people become enchanted. They forget the creation. I will quote 1 or 2 examples. In the Gita it is there, Trivir Gunamai Revir Bhavai Sarvamidam Jagat Mohitam Navi Janati Mam. Swami Vivekananda was traveling with his companions on the deck of a ship, and they were traveling over the Mediterranean Sea. And because it was a starry night, all of them went to the deck, and he saw that all his friends, they have become intoxicated, charmed with the beauty of nature. And he exclaimed, if Maya is so beautiful, think of the reality behind. So the beauty of outside expression should make the mind go to the Creator instead of enjoying the beauty. We are lost if we enjoy the beauty. Suddenly that some idea struck me, but I will keep it to myself. Ravi Thakur always sings of love of God, but always comes down to the beauty of the world or love in the world. And therefore he says, Vairagya je what? Mukti Shyamar Noy. When I say this, now Bengalis become very angry on me. Master, God and His glory. This universe is His glory. People see His glory and forget everything. They do not seek God, whose glory is this world. All seek to enjoy woman and gold. That is, finally the enjoyment comes to this only. You have discussed this, sadhana and sadhanation. But there is too much misery and worry in that, because this is shadow of God. And here the beauty and everything will be mixed with misery. Misery and worry in that. Worry, this will be lost, that will be lost. Misery, it goes away. This world is like the whirlpool of the Vishalakshi. That is a river in which there is a whirlpool. Now if the boat enters there, it gets caught. Once a boat gets into it, there is no hope of its rescue. Again, the world is like a thorny bush. So many examples to imprint on the mind of man. You have hardly freed yourself from one set of thorns before you find yourself entangled in another thorny bush. Once you enter a labyrinth, you find it very difficult to get out. This you will get in that previous?
Yes.
You are getting?
Yes.
Page?
This is page 35 in this.
35.
Oh.
What is this labyrinth? Oh, Golak Dandaya. A puzzling situation. This is a puzzle, and one gets caught there. You find it very difficult to get out. Living in the world as man becomes seated, as it were, man becomes seared, as it were.
On the right side, below Golak.
जल सा पड़ा है ये, burnt. So that is not pessimism. Some people say that the saints make us afraid of the world and try to pull it to God. They are telling facts of the world. And so, all the scriptures, Gita says, Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. Buddha says, everything is misery. So, where shall go? That is a fact. Man does not understand, so he gets more and more entangled. A devotee, but there, by Thakur's talking, all these people's eyes are getting open. So, a devotee, then what is the way, sir? Master, prayer and the company of holy men. So, out of all things, he has drawn out two things. Prayer and the company of holy men. Company of holy men continuously pull our mind above. And from our side, we remember in the fourth answer, prayer, yearning. So, prayer and company of holy men. You cannot get rid of an ailment without the help of physician. So, holy men. But it is not enough to be in the company of religious people only for a day. You should constantly seek the company of religious people. You should constantly seek it, for the disease has become chronic. Again, You can't understand the pulse rightly unless you live with a physician. Now these two allopaths are followers of any system of medicine except Ayurveda. And I understood in Tamil Nadu and Kerala that it was not there in the original Ayurvedas, but it is a great discovery. You go to a Ayurvedic doctor. You have to first put up your hand, right hand, left hand, vilas, and he puts his fingers on your nadi, no. And he tells you, well, just to tell yes or no. You are coughing, is it not? We don't have to tell him any symptoms and not this pathological laboratory. He puts his fingers on your nerve and goes on telling you. If some wrong is there or some particulars, you have to tell him. Oh, cough increases in the night, isn't it? Like that, filtered diagnosis only through this. Now, how that can be learned? How can that be learned? You have to continuously stay in the company of a man. And he will ask you, you put. Now you feel the difference? This is this, this is this. So slow and fast. So many things are there which you can only understand by living in the company of that physician. Unless you live with a physician, moving with him constantly, you learn to distinguish between the pulse of phlegm and the pulse of bile. 3 pulses are there. They say the man's body consists of kapha, pitta, marut. And any disbalance in this creates a disease. That is a diagnosis of every disease. But there are very subtle differences, and according to that, they will prescribe the medicine. So here Thakur has mentioned 2. That is, where it is? Same 35, na?
Last line. Last line of the
kache na gile, Kafir nadi, kunti pitter nadi, boja jai. Tritiya is vater nadi. Kapha, pitta, marut. Marut is what? Devotee. What is the good of holy company? Because it has not yet become clear to that person. Master, it begets yearning for God. So that is like a contagious. It begets love of God. Yearning for God, love of God. Nothing whatsoever is achieved in spiritual life without yearning. So love grows into yearning, and without that nothing is achieved. Yame Vaisha Vrunute Tena Labende Katapanishad. By constantly living in the company of holy men, the soul becomes restless for God. Here we are getting a new thing. That in the first conversation with Master Mahashaya, Thakur had told, now and then go into holy company. But here he is twice telling constantly. This yearning is like the state of mind of a man who has someone ill in the family. He has giving example from the daily life so that people can feel it. His mind is in a state of perpetual restlessness, thinking how the sick person may be cured. Or again, one should feel a yearning for God like the yearning of a man who has lost his job and is wandering from one office to another in search of work. Attempts in so many ways. If he is rejected at a certain place which has no vacancy, he goes there again the next day and inquires, is there any vacancy today? Thakur's descriptions are wonderful. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Viridhitam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadasatam Bhui Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.